This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball from the banks of the Mississippi. We're back home in downtown St. Louis. It's the Cardinals and Pirates in a weekend series. John Jay is in the lineup. He'll bat second for a struggling offense for Mike Matheny. Both these teams the last week have really struggled offensively. Something that separates the two, though, home runs. The Pirates at 5, the Cardinals none, and nearly 300 at-bats. And welcome to Cardinals Baseball with the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. My name is Dan McLaughlin. We're delighted to have you with us for this weekend series, the Cardinals and the Pirates. We'll highlight a couple of the faces of their franchises. That's Yadier Molina and Andrew McCutchen, the reigning MVP of the National League.
Well, you're talking about struggling offense, but Andrew McCutchen, after a slow start, has got his average at .299, and he's hit 3 home runs in the last 4 games. So he's swinging a hot bat. But maybe nobody is swinging a hotter bat than Yadier Molina. 14-game hitting streak for Yadi, and he's hit 400 plus during that time.
McCutchen and Molina both are in the lineup here tonight. A pair of young right-handers. Should be a great test for both of them. Garrett Cole, we saw him in the postseason a year ago, pitch at Busch Stadium. And for the Cardinals, he's so good at home. And at Busch, that is Shelby Miller. It's Cole. It's Miller. The Cards, the Pirates, coming up on Fox Sports Midwest. Park Village. Here's Pat. to be. Playoff hockey for Ryan Miller and the St. Louis Blues as they'll play in game number 5 right down the street. And yes, David Backus is in the lineup tonight. You can see that on Fox Sports Midwest in our main channel. Meanwhile, right here at Busch Stadium, over 40,000. They've gathered for baseball tonight. Shelby Miller with our first pitch. When we come back, it's Cardinals baseball. Who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly. It's Chevy Truck Month. Visit your Mid-America Chevy dealers to take advantage of Truck Month offers on the all-new Chevy Silverado. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. Take a look at our umpires tonight. Calling the balls and strikes will be Will Little, Paul Schreiber at first, Mark Carlson at second. The crew chief is Ted Barrett. He's down at third. So many rule changes in baseball, and now they have gone back to an old way, which is basically the interpretation of how you catch a baseball and take it out of the glove. It's back to the way we used to see it.
Well, there's a lot of controversy over this ruling, and I think by going back the way it had been in years past, I think everyone's a lot more comfortable with it. I think it's going to be better. It's going to eliminate a lot of the guessing as to what goes on. And I think the players are very comfortable now that we've returned to what had been going on for the last 100 years.
And I think they're comfortable, the Cardinals are, to return back home to Busch Stadium. Only 6 games they have played here in St. Louis, the fewest home games of any team in the major leagues. And Shelby Miller, in his young career, has been very good here at Busch. He's not been good against the Pirates. In his career, he is 0-5, and Shelby is our Kia starter tonight.
And, of course, his first start of the year was in Pittsburgh, and he got roughed up again. It's the long ball. In his 5 starts against the Pirates, he's given up 9 home runs. And you mentioned how much better he pitches at home. Last year, a 15-game winner, 10 of those wins at home.
In on the hands of Jose Tabata, left fielder that has hit the Cardinals well, especially here at Busch Stadium. He's hit safely in 24 of 26 games. And Starling Marte is on the bench. And Marte has struck out over 30 times already. So Clint Hurdle shaking things up at the top of his lineup. Catches the outside corner. Carpenter has to charge on the run, and he makes the play. The Pirates are hitting as a team .229. but they do hit a lot of home runs. They've hit home runs in their last 5 games. Tabata, then Neil Walker, the reigning MVP, Andrew McCutchen, Pedro Alvarez, Russell Martin, Ike Davis, the former Met. He's 5 for 21 so far with a grand slam. Travis Snyder, Clint Barmas, and Garrett Cole, the pitcher, and he's batting ninth. It's 73 degrees here in St. Louis. That's also a change from the road trip. Many cool nights in Washington and again in the just completed 4-game set against the Mets. Neil Walker, a switch hitter, is at the plate.
Cardinals coming off their longest road trip of the year, 3-city, 11-game trip. They were 5-6 on that trip with a starter's ERA of 1.20. Cardinals wasted a bunch of very, very good starts. Defense hadn't been good, but it's been.
This is slicing down the left field line and out of play.
It's just the runs. And the biggest factor, you can really look at the Cardinals' numbers, compare them with last year when the Cardinals had the best offense in the National League, and not a lot of difference. The only significant difference is that they're not hitting as well with runners in scoring position.
The Cardinals so far this year at 238 in that spot. 2 balls and 1 strike on Walker. He's hitting .261. He does have 6 home runs. That's most in baseball among second basemen in terms of home runs, with Brian Dozier of Minnesota. He also has 6. 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Shelby Miller. Now, something that we saw in that previous start against the Pirates, a series in which the Bucks took 2 of 3. A lot of changeups, off-speed pitches. He's been working on those since spring training, but he's gone back to a lot of fastballs.
And he's a fastball pitcher. What really has gotten him in trouble using the fastball is fastball command. When he keeps the ball down and working on the corners, then he can use that explosive 4-seam fastball up in the zone, get hitters to chase.
And a ground ball softly hit up the line. Adams flips to Miller for out number 2. The Cardinals have committed 20 errors this season. Holiday, Jay, and Craig in the outfield as we go around the horn. Presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Carpenter and Peralta on the left side of the infield. Wong and Adams on the right side. And Molina is behind the plate.
Not only the 20 errors, that there's probably another 5 or 6 balls that probably should have been charged with an error. Jose Oquendo is considered to be, and I'm in this fan club, one of the best infield instructors in all of baseball. And they work on it daily. Every single day before they take batting practice, there's extensive infield work all around the horn. They're all working at it, so it's a matter of time they'll get better.
Here's Andrew McCutchen. 1 ball, 1 strike. McCutchen got off to a slow start, but he's more than made up for that. His last 51 at-bats, 4 home runs, hitting .373 as his average has climbed to the .299 mark. Also leads the National League in walks with 20, and he's 4th in on-base percentage at .426. He is your true combination of speed and power. He can throw. I think if you're looking at 5-tool players, he'd be one of them.
Gold Glove winner, reigning MVP.
Good pitch on the outside corner, and it's 2-2.
Shelby, he's well aware of how well the Pirates have hit against him, but he's also wants this challenge of going up and breaking the streak.
Gets him to reach on a pitch on the outside corner. Peralta to first, and a 1-2-3 inning for Shelby Miller. Garrett Cole, hard-throwing right-hander, to the mound when we come back. As we move to the home half of the first, it's Matt Carpenter, then John Jay swinging a hot bat. Matt Holliday, Matt Adams, Yadier Molina riding a hit streak here tonight. Then Craig, Peralta, Wong, and Miller. You see the career for Holliday against Busch Stadium or against Pittsburgh, and some of those numbers jump out at you, especially here at Busch Stadium. And the Cardinals face a very good right-hander, young, former #1 overall pick in 2011. For the Pittsburgh Pirates, it is Garrett Cole.
He's 23 years of age, 6'4", 240. And as you mentioned, he pitched very, very well in postseason against the Cardinals. Matter of fact, he started Game 5, the deciding game in the division series.
As Carpenter drops down a perfect bunt, no play for Alvarez. How about that? Carpenter dropping down a bunt.
And Matt is 0 for his last 4, but he did have a good road trip where he hit .317. Alvarez, who we've seen makes a lot of errors, but it seems like he's just a very accomplished third baseman when playing the Cardinals. Came in, do or die play, and kind of kicked the ball with his back leg. Never got a handle on it, and Carpenter, that's what you need to do. But I think, Dan, this weather, playing in this weather, playing in front of the home crowd, is going to energize the Cardinals.
Short lead at first. Here's John Jay. And Jay hits it softly to first. Davis takes it himself at the bag, and they get Jay. Thought about going to second to get Carpenter, but the lead man now in scoring position. The Pirates have committed 16 errors this year. Around the Horn is brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. McCutchen, the Gold Glove winner in 2012. Tabata is in left. Snyder is in right. Alvarez, Barmes, Walker, and Davis along the infield. Russell Martin is behind the plate. There's a look at Clint Hurdle. Received a contract extension along with the GM of the Pirates. So he'll be in that black and gold for quite some time. He's done a very good job.
Very positive. He's turned this franchise around.
One out runner at second. Now Matt Holliday and Yadier Molina both have come through with runners in scoring position this year. Holliday is at .381, and he and Molina both lead the club in RBIs with 11.
A year ago, it was almost automatic that the Cardinals would get on the board with a one out runner in scoring position when they hit .330 as a team. But this year, and it's early, it's been a big difference. Cardinals are scoring a run less per game.
That'll find the seats out of play. Yeah, the numbers are not pretty so far. The Cardinals hit .249 on the road trip. And in the previous 3 games in which they dropped 2 of 3 to the Pirates, they hit just .177.
They got on the road trip, their numbers kind of got skewed a little bit because they won 2 out of 3 and had good offensive support in Milwaukee, but then split with Washington and lost 3 of 4 to the Mets. All while this starting pitching for the Cardinals, their ERA was 1.20.
1-2 the count on Holliday. Fights it off. A pitch at 97 in on his hands. Tough pitch. And Holliday's still alive.
Garrett Cole is #1 for a reason. And here hitting his spot. Got that ball in. No hitter wants to try and hit the ball off their fists. He got in on John Jay, jammed him. Try and do the same to Holliday.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Holliday. Adams on deck. You're looking at the middle of this lineup, not only to produce and bringing in runs, but also for a little power. And the Cardinals haven't had that so far this year. Here's a 2-2. Holiday, base hit into right. Like it, 1-0 St. Louis.
Cardinals were so good at moving down the line. Here, Holiday with his double and RBI, that's number 12, most on the team. He traded places with Carpenter. A breaking ball away, kind of sat down and away, but good plate coverage. Looked like he had to expect that pitch away and drives it to right field. So Carpenter comes around to score. Carpenter last year, just a breakout season, led the National League in runs scored, and he's starting to pick his up the pace again.
Now it's a cleanup man, Matt Adams. And Adams with a shift on, hits it to the shortstop. That's Barmes tonight. And staying put, it's Holiday. The Pirates using a ton of shifts this year and in that first series against St. Louis. Cardinals haven't hit a home run for 8 games, so nearly 300 at-bats. This is the worst power outage since 2010. It was 9 games then. And who knows, maybe that changes tonight.
295 at-bats without a home run. Yachty's got a 14-game hitting streak, a home run during that time. Hit over 400 on the road trip. But he is so relaxed the way he's swinging the bat now.
Runner at second, it's Holiday. And Molina hits it out of play. So this 14-game streak is the third longest right now in baseball. Longest was Christian Yelich of Miami, 17 games. And he's near 450 during this streak. Oh, and 2.
Dan, I know you know the last Cardinal catcher to have a streak like this.
Eric Pappas, and he did that back in '93. And if you're wondering, Eric Pappas is the hitting coach, I believe, at AA.
At Springfield. Talked to Eric several times in spring training, really enjoying back in baseball and working with the youngsters.
Here's the 0-2. Last time out for Garrett Cole, it was career high 8 innings, no decision against Milwaukee, but that was
memorable.
Nothing because of what took place with Carlos Gomez. Gomez wound up with a triple. I'm sure many of you have seen the replay of that, but then a brawl ensued, and Cole was right in the middle of things. Jams Molina. Alvarez over to first to Ike Davis. Ball just jumps off his bat. That's Matt Holiday with a double into the corner in right. Scoring Matt Carpenter. 1-0 after an inning of play. Jim Hayes. And Jim, it's Tyler Lyons tomorrow, but how's Joe Kelly doing?
Well, as you know, Dan, Kelly's been on the DL since April 17th when he strained his left hamstring in Milwaukee trying to beat out a bunt. He's been back in St. Louis rehabbing. He told me today it's still a little tight, but it is feeling much better. He did some long tossing today. He's hoping to be cleared to throw off the mound maybe tomorrow. No timetable for his return, but Dan, he told me the toughest thing about being hurt right now, he couldn't be with his teammates on that long road trip.
Well, good news that it's not a serious injury concerning Joe Kelly. Was really pitching well, too.
Absolutely. In the game he got hurt, he had 4 shutout innings before he injured himself. And watch him, he dressed out in batting practice today. As Jim said, he long tossed. He was doing some throwing when the team was on the road, so it's not that far away.
2 balls and no strikes on Pedro Alvarez. He's hitting .176. He does have 6 home runs, tied with Neil Walker for most for the Bucks. He's driven in 14. The 2-0. Boy, he has just tore up Cardinal pitching in his career, too. As we've talked about, it's been 1 year great, next year down. And you see what he's done his last 3 games, just 1 hit. But he's hit 13 home runs against St. Louis in his career. Leadoff walk.
3 of those were against Shelby Miller. So you don't want to have a leadoff walk, but you have to be very careful with Alvarez for whatever reason. When he's at Busch Stadium or facing a Cardinal pitcher, he is one of the best hitters all time, and his numbers reflect that.
A positive for the Pirates getting healthier here with Russell Martin. He had a slide at home on Monday and wasn't in the Pirates lineup for 2 straight days. And he has a couple of home runs off of Shelby Miller in his career.
In my mind, last year, the biggest acquisition the Pirates made was acquiring Russell Martin. May have been overshadowed by a lot of people, but he made a difference to the pitching staff, stopped the running game of the opposition, and really worked so well with the young pitchers.
Here's a 1-0. And against St. Louis last year, Russell Martin, when Alvarez was not putting up his numbers like he did 2 years ago against the Cardinals, well, Martin, 6 home runs, 11 RBIs last year against the Cards. And 4 of those 6 home runs were hit here at Busch Stadium. The 1-1. And that's up and in. Did it catch him? If it did, Martin isn't selling it.
Will Little, and that's the first time I can remember hearing his name, our home plate umpire, not buying it. Got 2 of the best catchers in the game right now. 2 guys that really control running games, the pitching staff, and 2 guys that are extremely durable.
Molina had the day off with Tony Cruz yesterday, catching Lance Lynn.
That's not a bad thing.
Not at all. Keeps him fresh. Clearly, the Cardinals need him for so many reasons, but handling the pitching staff, what he does at the plate, in our mind, the MVP of the league.
Well, you know, his knees are so important to his game, and so one day every 5 days or one day every 10 days wouldn't hurt him and help him as he's into his 30s now.
3-2 the count.
Really have to cut down walks. This is a very fair ballpark. The warmest day that we have had this season. It's fair to the hitters, fair to the pitchers, but you don't want to walk people and turn a crooked number up there on the scoreboard.
Alvarez was running, and now Miller steps off. This time last year, that's one of the parts of Miller's game that they really improved upon in the second half, which was trying to keep runners closer as they stole against him and not so much Yadier Molina. On 3-2, they'll start the runner here, potentially to avoid a double play. He's not running, and it's swung on and missed. So Shelby Miller comes back to strike out Russell Martin. Let's turn to Al's Toyota. Keys to the game.
Well, home sweet home. Cardinals, after a long road trip, they've only played 6 home games. The few and Shelby needs to break the jinx. The Bucks, in 5 starts against him, he is 0-5 with an ERA just a shade under 6. So he needs to kind of show them that what everybody else in the National League knows, that Shelby Miller is an elite pitcher.
Here's Ike Davis. Davis, the former Met. What are they watching across the street? Some Blues hockey. That is Fox Sports Midwest Live at Ballpark Village. Up on the big screen, it's hockey, and they've got baseball as well on many of the screens throughout the village. And the Blues are trailing Marian Hossa a goal 1-0 Blackhawks. Here's the 0-1. And now 0-2 on Davis, who has 2 home runs. Both have been grand slams, and outside of that, just 1 RBI.
2 grand slams this season, both against the Reds. One on opening day, or I guess the home opener for the Mets. Just traded from the Mets to Pittsburgh. And I think he will kind of relax and maybe see if he doesn't flourish here in Pittsburgh.
Ooh, Molina wanted to throw to first, couldn't get it out of the glove. So the rule change handed down immediately, effective right now. Major League Baseball, the glove opens up, the fielder reaches into the glove for the ball, and then it comes out and it's dropped in his throwing hand. It's now ruled an out.
And I think the best way to think about that is it's the rule we've been playing with for many years, for decades and a century. Still open to an umpire's interpretation, but it really, when they started talking that you really had to control the ball and really show an umpire the ball, well, Mike Matheny was saying with our middle infielders on a double play ball, he didn't want them wasting the time to show an umpire the ball. He wanted them to go ahead and complete the double play. And also, he didn't want his guys hanging around second base to where they could be hurt by a runner sliding into them.
And Davis just got a piece. That, in my mind, was the biggest concern, was injury. And apparently Joe Torre and Tony La Russa, John Sherholtz on that committee of rules and regulations and some of the changes, they were hearing from managers who were hearing it from their players about potential of injury at second base on the plays that you could see where you get a double play broken up and you have to hang in there. That's a scary, scary thing. 3-2 the count. See if they start Pedro Alvarez on this 3-2 pitch.
A lot of pitches being thrown this inning. Shelby needs to be more efficient. Shelby doing a good job there. He held the ball on the mound for a long time, then eventually threw over. Just trying to take the spring out of the legs of a base stealer. And if the Cardinal pitchers pay any attention to that base runner, Yadier Molina will do the rest if they're running.
The 3-2, he is running, and it's hit out of play. Big crowd on this Friday night. We're expecting a huge crowd tomorrow for the Yadier Molina jersey giveaway. On Sunday, it's the Silver Slugger Awards, won by both Molina and Carpenter, and that'll be given away, the mini bat for the kids. And he's 6 of 7 stolen base department, and that's in his career.
1 for 2 this year.
There he goes. Doesn't matter. That's taken for ball 4. So 2 walks tonight, both coming in this inning. Albert Pujols has homered again. That's his 9th of the season. Did not hit his 9th home run until June 4th of last year. So he's healthy and he's on a tear.
Yeah, a lot of injury last year, but we were kind of kidding around on when we were in New York about what Albert hit more home runs than the Cardinals in the month of April. It's getting close.
Well, right now he's even with the Royals. This could be 2. Out at second. The turn by Wong. Double play off the bat of Travis Snyder. It's 1-0 St. Louis. Double play helping out Shelby Miller. So the last time that Garrett Cole was on the mound was Sunday afternoon at PNC. Gomez flips the bat. He thinks he may have a home run. Garrett Cole, he didn't like that one bit. Those two have words, and a brawl ensues.
Kids being kids. Gomez, Travis Snyder, Russell Martin, and Maldonado all received suspensions. Maldonado served his, and I believe the other 3 are appealing.
The Brewers, by the way, playing Chicago tonight, and they lead that game 2-0. The Brewers, one of the hottest teams undoubtedly in baseball, as Alan Craig is at the plate. Milwaukee is 16-6. How about K-Rod? 9 for 9 in save opportunities as Craig taps it foul.
Cardinals started the road trip in Milwaukee when they had 9 straight wins, and the Cardinals cooled them off, winning 2 out of 3.
Numbers for Craig this season overall at 179. I think these numbers are going to change in a big way, because looking at Alan Craig, when he's at Busch Stadium in his career, he's a .314 career hitter at this ballpark. He's also, by the way, a .223 April hitter. So slow starts, not a surprise for him as he grounds back to Garrett Cole for the first out.
Cardinals Cardinals also have hit a lot of balls on the line that have been right at fielders. Hyundai with our replay and just a little bouncer back that Garrett Cole takes care of. What I like about Garrett is really works both sides of plate. Not afraid to pitch inside. He's got good command of his pitches. He'll really work inside to where he use that breaking ball away.
Johnny Peralta leading the club in home runs with 4, but 0 for his last 21. Majority of the hits for Peralta have been extra bases. Did not play yesterday in New York. 7 extra base hits of his 11 total. It's sharply to third. What a play here by Pedro Alvarez, but throws wide. Gets away from Davis, and Peralta on his way to second. Peralta will stop at second base.
I thought for a minute we're going to see another one of those great plays by Pedro Alvarez. He has made so many good plays against the Cardinals, and then he's struggled against other teams. Does the hard part here, getting the hard smash, but then he throws that ball away. Ike Davis could have helped him a little bit by vacating the bag and kept that, concede the run at, or the runner first base, but keep him from going to second.
It's air on Alvarez. That's his 4th. And Peralta wears a protective piece of gear on his hand. Just ripped it off his hand. Threw it down. Eventually handed it to the umpire in frustration. He thought he had a base hit. Now he's 0 for his last 22. He's in scoring position for Colton Wong. Wong a couple of base hits yesterday. Alvarez even with the bag at third as Wong looks at a strike. Those 2 hits yesterday, snapping an 0 for 10 for Colton Wong. And 4 hits on the trip. Splitting time with Mark Ellis at second base. Chop to the right side. Leo Walker is there. 2 down. As Peralta advances to third. You can follow every Cardinals game with MLB.com at bat on your favorite phone or tablet. Live look-ins, instant replay, scores, stats, audio, and more. Visit Cardinals.com today. Stuck in the middle of this sea of red, some Pirates fans. The Pirates not playing good baseball. They have been struggling as well. Just 3 wins in their last 14.
Cardinal pitchers probably hit more, take more BP than any other staff in all of baseball. That's a remnant left over from Tony La Russa. When he came to the National League, he said the pitchers hit, well, we should make them a factor, and gave them an awful lot of hitting time. And it's paid off.
Shelby Miller in his last start had the near home run in Washington.
He's 2 for 7 this year. He hit a home run last year. Has 1 RBI in the year and 3 in his young career.
Big gap in left center. Johnny Peralta is the runner at third base. The 1-1. Boy, it's nice to be home, isn't it? I'll tell you what looks great is seeing the home whites, the red caps. We haven't seen those. Didn't see him in spring training. Something that Mike Matheny did was he made it known that you have to earn that classic white jersey and uniform that the Cardinals wear.
I think it's a nice idea what Mike was trying to accomplish, but this team is such a complete roster. There was really anybody could have pretty much handpicked the 25 guys that were going north.
Jim Hayes had a chance to visit with John Mozeliak, Cardinals GM, on the pregame show and got an update on some of the young players that we did see in spring training. You'll hear about that in our third inning. There's some good ones down there at AAA.
Probably last year you probably thought outfielders was maybe a little bit of a weak spot. Oscar Taveras recognized as #1 prospect, but the Grichiks, Piscotty's, Joey Butler, right on down the line,
A strikeout of Shelby Miller. So the first strikeout for Garrett Cole, and we play 2. 1-0 St. Louis. Pre-game, where does he stand with some of these young bats that are making some noise at AAA?
Yeah, 4 guys are tearing it up in Memphis. Randall Grichuk, Stephen Piscotty, Oscar Taveras, and Joey Butler. I asked John on the pregame when he thinks it's time to try to jumpstart the Cardinal offense by bringing someone up. He said not at this point in the season. He told me whoever they brought up likely wouldn't see regular at-bats. He said that's tough on a rookie, so there's no guarantee they would be productive, and that it would get in the way of their development. He says for the time being, the Cardinals will be patient and trust in the talent they have here in St. Louis, but he stressed, Dan, for the time being.
Grichuk, by the way, is hitting .338. And thank you, Jim. And there's a strike to Clint Barmes. He has 3 home runs, 17 RBIs. Piscotty, .333, 2 home runs and 12. And Oscar Taveras with a base hit tonight, riding a 10-game hitting streak. And he's been playing center field down at Memphis.
Well, he just recently returned to action after rolling his right ankle. All the problems he had last year were with his left ankle. But back playing again, and I want to see if he plays center field.
Here's the 0-2. Peralta to his left, retires Clint Barmes, and that's how we start the third. In your experience, Al, I'm going to ask you, when do you bring up, let's not talk about pitchers, but when do you look at and say, okay, enough's enough. This guy has enough experience in the minor leagues. We've seen enough this year with our major league club. There's a hole there. Is it a month, 2 months, 3 months? When do you bring a guy up?
Well, it's a couple different things. A lot of times people think a position player needs about 1,000 at bats in the minor leagues, and then you really get a read as to what kind of player he's going to be. Now you talk about, as you see, Chris Carpenter and Grichuk. I mean, not Grichuk, but
Michael Gersh, assistant GM.
And, so 1,000 bats for a young hitter, but you'd like to see that they get at least a half a season at AAA. And when you're talking about Oscar Taveras, you're talking about Grichuk, and Piscotty, you don't want to bring them up unless they can be playing, virtually every day. They're too young. But the one guy there that's kind of intriguing is Joey Butler, because Joey Butler's 28 years of age. He's not like guys in the early 20s or 21 like Tavares. So, and Grichuk, who is acquired from the Angels, was the second player in the Borges David Freese trade, has really impressed a lot of people down there. But I think unless you're going to commit, and with Matt Holliday and Alan Craig in the outfield, you're not going to, you have to have a significant injury.
Garrett Cole at the plate. 1 out, nobody on, and it's 2-2. Joey Butler was with the Texas Rangers, so he does have Major League time. That was at the end of last year. Had very good numbers at Round Rock, which is their AAA affiliate. And that's up and into Cole.
Yeah, but to see being 28 years of age and with a little bit of Major League experience, Joey Butler may be that kind of guy that could come off the bench. As we take a look at this other pitch, it gets away. No intent there, but maybe Shelby remembers that Garrett Cole didn't struck him out, wasn't kind to him.
And a base hit into center field for Garrett Cole. Just to give you a little bit more on Joey Butler. He was a 15th round pick by the Rangers. Last season, led Round Rock in walks, on base percentage, home runs, and he's hit over 300 for 3 consecutive years at AAA.
And talking with Tyler Lyons, who came up with Joe Kelly had the injury and will get the start tomorrow, he said the thing about Joey Butler is, he said the kid's phenomenal, that he can sit there and be sitting on the bench for 2 or 3 days, and then he'll come up and just continue to rake. So he has that experience, or has the ability to maybe come off the bench with the other guys who want to play every day.
If you'd like to send us a photo or a reminder, hashtag STL fan photo. And we'll show one tonight, also in our upcoming telecast as well. That's ripped into left center field off the bat of Tabata. And Cole will stop at second base. So back-to-back singles with 1 out here in the third for the Pirates.
Tabata at .324 all-time at Busch Stadium. He's now hit in 25 of his last 27 games here at Busch Stadium. Right off the end of the bat, but it was elevated, was able to get it over the infield. Cardinals turned a double play last inning, and that's what Shelby needs right now.
And in steps Neil Walker, who's hitting close to .370 his last 5 games. And that's something that you always want to keep an eye out for. What has a hitter done last handful of games? And he is hot right now. Mentioned earlier the 6 home runs, and that's just one back of the National League lead. Also, Brandon Belt and Mark Trumbo both have 7.
And very opportunistic for Neil Walker, as he already has 2 game-winning walk-off hits.
The Pirates as a team have hit 28 home runs, so they've got some pop in this lineup. But of those 28, 20 have been solo shots. That's pulled foul.
There's a lot of guys in the Hall of Fame that gave up a lot of home runs, but the majority of those home runs were solo shots. They would bear down when they had men on base, but pitching to contact, a lot of times they'd get a hitter and maybe they didn't give them the due respect. Just said, well, I'll throw it in there, hit the ball. And every now and then they go, I probably shouldn't have done that.
One-two pitch to Walker.
And one final note about the Cardinals AAA outfielders. They say Tommy Pham, very, very good defensive outfielder, just can't get any playing time because everyone else is going so hot.
Sure. Also have James Ramsey, who is, because of this crowded outfield from this level to AAA, he's at AA, off to a tremendous start. The 2-2 in the dirt, blocked by Molina, and the count runs full.
Out of full counts for Shelby.
A lot of pitches, too. 51 already.
That's the byproduct of going deep into the counts, and something Shelby knows he needs to work on, be more efficient.
Michael Wacha lasted only 4 innings the other night, but he struck out 10 and walked 5 in a line that had not been seen in Major League Baseball for over 100 years with what he did against the Mets. Here's a 2-2. Hit out of play.
Well, the walks were bad enough at 5, but when you walk in 2 runs, and the first 3 innings he struck out 9, but his pitch count got to be, he removed after 4 innings because he was at about 95 pitches after 4, and his spot was coming up.
Long look by Shelby. Runners at first and second. Now time is called.
Mentioned the 6 home runs that Walker has. 4 of those have been hit on the road.
The 2-2. Foul back again. Saw that shot of Chris Carpenter in the GM's box, and he's still feeling out exactly what he wants to do with the club. Will it be scouting? Would he be a coach, get back in uniform? And he told me at spring training that he loves being around especially the lower level talented pitchers that the Cardinals have, to talk to them about the process, the mental side of it. 3-2. And his impact with this team is still felt. There's no doubt. Matter of fact, Shelby Miller said during spring training, I was asking him about the Carpenter impact with him being in uniform last year. He said, I fear him. And I said, you're serious? He said, absolutely. He said, what he says goes.
That's what teammate.
Command respect.
Some of the opposing hitters thought of him.
Runner goes from second, then stopped, and that pitch was fouled back. That's the pitcher, Garrett Cole, and it's 3-2 with 1 out. And Shelby has really slowed things down here in this 3rd inning.
A lot of these pitchers are all up. Walker's helped Shelby out a couple times, swinging at pitches, fouled them off that have been outside the strike zone.
McCutchen on deck in a 3-2 pitch. Inside. 3rd walk issued by Shelby Miller. Shelby Miller, 5 starts against Pittsburgh and a loss in each, and this is since 1923. And Shelby, by the way, hasn't lost more than once to any other team since he's arrived in the big leagues.
Sure, Derek Lilliquist, one of the things he's saying, did you see what happened to Michael Wacha? He had those 5 walks and he got knocked out of the game in 4 innings. You got 1 guy in front of you, 7 guys behind you, all trying to help you out. So throw strikes, let your defense do the work for you. Still, you make a good pitch here, even with the speed of McCutchen, you can still turn a double play.
Bases loaded. 1 out. McCutchen hits it sharply. Peralta to second. Or to first. It's a double play. Double play. Off the bat of the MVP, McCutchen. An outstanding turn at second by Wong, and Peralta makes sure that the Cardinals still have the lead midway through 3. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And find a helpful servicing Steel dealer near you. Visit steeldealers.com. The Cardinals have turned a pair of double plays tonight. None bigger than the one moments ago off the bat of Andrew McCutchen.
We've seen several times that Peralta has good range up the middle, going to his left. And that ball was a rocket off the bat of McCutchen. But once he flagged it down and pitched it to his second baseman, Colton Wong, even with McCutchen's speed, they were able to turn 2.
Well, the Cardinals have the top of the lineup in Carpenter, Jay, and Holiday. Reminder, the Blues are being seen on our main channel on Fox Sports Midwest. You're watching on Fox Sports Midwest Plus. The Blackhawks in the second period with a 1-0 lead over the Blues in Game 5.
Big Cardinal fan recovering from a little surgery. Can't wait to see Jane Yance back at the ballpark. Hope that's real soon.
Mildred Renshaw celebrating her 97th birthday and watching baseball tonight, along with Jim Hayes and the Mad Hungarian Al Raboski. Dan McLaughlin with you. Carpenter bunted his way on first time up. Wound up at second base and scored on the RBI double from Holiday. And that's strike one underway here in the home half of the third.
Alvarez was playing in on the grass. Now he's backing up.
Really don't see that very often. Just a few times last year where Carpenter would drop down a bunt trying for a hit. Not necessarily the sacrifice, but a hit. And it was perfectly placed.
Matt's starting to see the ball much better.
Seemed that way in New York, didn't it?
Yeah, he had his first 4-hit game. That was surprising to me that it was his first. Has such a good batting eye, and I think had a lot of strikeouts in the early going where he's disagreed with the umpire's strike zone.
A 3-1 pitch and a strike to Carpenter. There it is, where he thought that was ball 4. Carpenter, by the way, has 13 walks this year. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. And those 13 walks tops for St. Louis. And 6th most in the National League at the start of play tonight. Slowly hit to the right side. Cole veers off the shovel pass and out at first.
Very casual by Ike Davis. That little side flip. Mike Matheny wants to see about that one. As you see, Mike Aldretti that's on the phone, and maybe take a look. Looks like they decided they aren't going to challenge this one. Little flip. Very close there, but I thought he was out all the way. And he is.
How about the gamesmanship of what replay is brought, where you had John Jay, who's coming to the plate now, waiting on deck, started fiddling with his spikes, tying his shoe, waiting for Mike Aldretti to get on the phone and get whether or not the video team of the Cardinals thought he was safe or out. You're going to have that.
I like it reading this winter that one National League manager was toying with the idea of bringing in a retired umpire to watch the video to help make the decision. He goes, my video guy is just too much of a fan. I can't trust his judgment.
Buck Showalter has done that with Baltimore. He has a former umpire, as Garrett Cole has not received the ball back from his catcher, and he's upset with the strike zone. How about that? Turns his back on his catcher and essentially showing up the home plate umpire. You're a rookie. You're not going to get calls now. 3-0. I see a little smile going across your face. Right or wrong, you try to show up an umpire?
Oh, you're right. I don't think he was trying to. I think he just his emotions got the best of him.
And the first walk issued by Cole. As he steps away, the infielders noticing the same thing we are, and they're in to visit with him to try to calm him down. Ice cream sundaes here at home while supplies last. North Star Ice Cream Treats out the Ford Plaza. That's presented by Prairie Farms. And that's this Sunday. Also the Silver Slugger mini bat giveaway for the kids.
Probably a bit surprising to you. I have no trouble with a pitcher being emotional out there.
You? Shocking.
You can calm him down, but you can't light a fire under a guy that has no emotion.
Outfield is deep straight away. Brad Straubinger, our pregame show producer, emailed you video. And you told me about this, and I'd seen pictures of it, but I hadn't seen the video. Of you and the Chicago Cubs and Ted Simmons behind the plate and a brawl. And I mean, you looked like London Fletcher in his prime, okay? You guys are about the same height. Not overly tall guys, Al, so you were getting after some people.
Well, it was a rarity. Probably one of the reasons why I was a charter member of the Hall of Shame. I threw one pitch with no batter in the batter's box, and the next pitch was with two batters in the right-hand side of the batter's box and a manager standing on home plate.
But the best part about it was watching the umpire who was letting the whole thing go on.
Oh, it was Shag Crawford. Gary Crawford's father had ordered Bill Madlock to get back in the batter's box. He refused and told me to pitch.
You're just doing what you're told.
I was just doing what I was told.
That's in itself is shocking.
This is also shocking to you. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but when an umpire tells you to pitch and it's an automatic strike, I got a pretty good chance I'm going to get the guy out.
And you were pumping strikes that day.
Yeah. And the best part was after the second pitch, Simmons just punched Madlock.
0-1 pitch here to Holiday.
And a very, good 20-minute brawl ensued. And afterwards, I said, Teddy, what did he say to you? He goes, I don't know, man. There are just too many bodies around me.
Now, that was a brawl.
And the other part, too, was these were the old days. After the fight, I was pitching. Madlock was hitting. Cardinal was young deck hitters.
So no ejections.
They were the two in the batter's box. I'll get there. Simmons was still catching. Chad Crawford was still umpiring. And Jim Marshall, the Cubs manager, got thrown out for arguing.
And that was it. But everybody else that was in the fight.
They all stayed in the game.
Sure. Wasn't Ricci in the middle of that too?
Oh, yes. I always have Ricci.
He was honestly mad at you even a month ago, telling me how he used to fight for you. You were the one that got everybody in these fights, and you'd be standing out on the side. But I have the video now that shows you were not. Nice piece of hitting to right field by Holiday. Jay on his way to third. Uh-oh. Diving in head first. Save! Somehow he's safe. And Clint Hurdle right to the phone. He tore away after that phone to get confirmation as to whether or not the call is correct, and we may have an argument here.
It's a bang-bang play. John Jay had to hold up on the ball to make sure it didn't hit him going between first and second. And Travis Snyder has a strong throwing arm. It's a high trajectory, so Alvarez reaches up, and by the time he comes down with the tag, our home plate our third base umpire, Ted Barrett, the crew chief, says he gets underneath the tag.
This should be the good view here. Ooh, that's close.
Really hard to tell where the hand touches the bag and was applied. I think it could have gone either way. It goes the Cardinals' way.
And they will challenge. The one view I think that gives you the best view of what we've seen is the view from down the left field line, because if you get it from behind the bag, you can't see whether or not the hand was there with the tag.
Correct.
So the Pirates challenge the call. Ruling on the field is safe. If indeed that is the call, the Cardinals will have first and third, only one out, and Matt Adams at the plate. If not, two down and a runner at first with Adams.
And it could be, they could reverse it. They could say the play stands, or they could say inconclusive.
Nice piece of hitting on that play by Matt Holliday to right field. He's now 2 for 2, and both hits have gone to right. First one was an RBI double that scored Carpenter back in the first inning.
And with one out, you totally understand why Clint is challenging this play.
The Cardinals, by the way, it's been hardly any challenges.
Oh, the only two that I think they've been involved in, ones were after the 7th inning where they asked the umpires. You know, so you really, Mike Matheny hasn't had a true challenge before the 7th inning. That's the way you remember it?
I do. And it was the other day with Matt Carpenter trying to score in New York. St. Louis Blues, by the way, have tied up their game with the Hawks. You think some sports fans are going to have a little fun tonight in St. Louis? Man, oh man. Cardinals back in town, first time in a long time. And the Blues and Hawks in a playoff game. In what has just been a fantastic series so far.
I've told you it's going to be the home team wins every game. And that'll be all right with the Blues fans.
You got it. Since our fans haven't seen many of these calls, it goes to an umpiring crew in Chelsea, New York, and that's where they're based.
He's out.
And the out call has been signaled. A little smile there for Travis Snyder, the right fielder.
High throw, gets down the tag. And there you can see in their mind, very tough to tell, and it looked like they got the right call. I don't think we have any problem with that. Ted Barrett's crew chief called him safe. They have the challenge, and it's reversed.
It took 2 minutes and 36 seconds, the review. And it looked like from that angle, if John Jay put the right hand towards the bag, he would have been safe. The shift is on here for Adams. But potentially could have been a huge inning for the Cardinals. Now turns into 2 outs and a runner at first for Matt Adams. Little floater up the middle and a base hit. Holiday stops at second. And Adams goes up the middle and beats the shift. And I noticed that he's wearing that protective gear in the elbow. And I mentioned to you the other night, I said, did you see him shaking his arm after one of the at-bats? And nothing was made of it, but I wonder if there's been any lingering effect.
Bone chips removed and other. Late last season, they aggravated that elbow. Said at the time he was going to wear that compression sleeve throughout his career. He started in spring training with it, but then he took it off to start the season, and now the sleeve is back on. Ray Surge, who's done an outstanding job with the pitchers with the Pittsburgh Pirates, job he did last year with Liriano, and what he's doing with Sunday's starter,
Edinson Volquez.
Volquez off to a good start, 1-1 ERA under 2. He allowed the most earned runs in the National League a year ago.
Molina is hitting .409 with runners in scoring position. Runners at first and second for the Cardinals. And Yachty looks at strike one. Molina with a broken bat ground out to third to end the first inning. 0 for 1. 1 ball, 1 strike as Martin applauds his pitcher hitting his spot. Two balls and 1 strike. Molina came in 4th in the league in hitting at .367. Charlie Blackmon of the Rockies at .410 to lead the National League. Shelby Miller this long inning just stretching, trying to stay loose. Slowly hit left side, gloved by Pedro Alvarez, and the Cardinals strand 2. They've left 4 on and we play 3. Your smartphone right now. Get a free large sandwich with any purchase just for downloading. Coming up next inning, we'll visit with a World Series hero. He was here to throw out the first pitch. MVP of the '06 Fall Classic. David Eckstein will be with us.
One of our favorites.
You bet. Well, concern for Shelby Miller. 3 walks here tonight. Allen is 25 innings. That's up to 17 walks for Shelby.
Walks and home runs allowed. Bad combination for a pitcher. 1 and 2 on the year. ERA is came in as 3.57. It's down now to 3.16. So if he can eliminate those walks and keep the ball in the ballpark, he's going to be a winner, a big winner again.
Here's Pedro Alvarez.
Led all National League rookies with 15 wins a year ago. 10 of those 15 wins came here at Busch Stadium. And his nemesis is the guy at the plate.
Walked his first time.
It's 3 for 13 off of Shelby, but all 3 hits have been home runs. And Alvarez has 13 career home runs against the Cardinals.
Well, there's no doubt this has turned into a strikeout staff. The Cardinals have 144 strikeouts. Their starters do, with 1 more by Miller tonight. That's 9 or more strikeouts in 10 of the 23 games. So 9 or more in 10 games already this season. There's Adam Wainwright. He'll go on Sunday. Lance Lynn had a very nice outing in New York. And there's the strikeout of Alvarez in the second tonight for Shelby Miller.
Ain't it? Got the breaking door, kind of a backdoor breaking ball. You kind of want to get that ball down, but here he chases it and strikes out a pitch out of the strike zone.
Are you seeing him tonight, Al, with Shelby Miller? Is Russell Martin digs in? Is he fighting mechanics? Is he falling off? What are you seeing? And now we're starting to see a little bit more breaking balls too.
And sometimes, he'll fall off a little bit, and that'll leave that breaking ball high. It's kind of a dangerous combination. It's just getting a lot of balls up in the zone. He can throw that 4-seam fastball and explode up, but preferably it's after you throw all your breaking balls and other fastballs that are down in the zone, and then change that eye angle and get somebody to swing at the high fastball, because they'll swing through that one or pop it up. You want this breaking ball bounced.
And it's hit to third. Carpenter makes the play, and Matt Carpenter in to check on Shelby Miller. Something did not look right there, it seemed like.
A little walk around the mound, and I think Carpenter even got, when he fielded that ball and started to throw, he made kind of an awkward throw, because he kind of, see, it's a breaking ball. And here, Russell Martin, remember now, he's got a bad ankle, and trying to fight his way through that bad ankle, and looked like he aggravated it.
Here's Ike Davis. We last saw the Pirates. It was Gabby Sanchez and Travis Ishikawa splitting time at first. Ishikawa was released and has signed a minor league deal with the San Francisco Giants. 1 ball, 1 strike, and here's a look at that last pitch to Russell Martin. You could see that Martin slow out of the batter's box. Shelby seems to be fine.
I think he just over-exaggerated trying to throw the breaking ball down, and just kind of looked a little awkward because he stayed in his follow-through a little longer than what you were accustomed to seeing.
A 2-1 pitch, and it's popped up. Could be the first 1-2-3 inning for Shelby Miller. Home sweet home. That was one of the keys to the game from Al Hrabosky. It's nice to be back. 1-0 St. Louis. Replica of the 2013 National League Championship Trophy. Matt Adams with it there, polishing it up. Pretty nice. And that's coming up on May 16th, courtesy of Ameren, Missouri. Cardinals.com/promotions to get your tickets. And up on the video board here at the ballpark, they just showed the TJ Oshie goal, and nice ovation.
Ken Hitchcock was talking before the game that he wanted to see more from TJ Oshie, who had not scored a goal since coming back from the concussion.
When did you start following all this hockey?
I'm your teacher. I've been straightening you out about hockey for years.
I'm impressed.
Playing on ice.
That's a start.
Got a blue line.
Oh, yeah. Craig off the glove of the pitcher, Garrett Cole. And Davis stays on the bag. Alan Craig can't catch a break right now, can he?
Can't, but as you said, things will even out for him. Just too good of a hitter. Maybe he had to go back to having one of those injuries. Miss a month. Or he missed 2 years ago. He missed the month of April and still had like 97 RBIs. He had that ankle problem, and then last year the lower leg problem cost him most of September. Had 97 RBIs.
Here's Peralta, and the first pitch is fouled back. Reached on a throwing error by the third baseman Pedro Alvarez.
And I've told you, you understood that my knowledge of hockey is a little limited because Barkley and Bobby Plager taught me the game.
This is hit out to deep left. One hops off the wall, and Peralta says thank you very much as he breaks an 0 for 22. That's his second hard hit ball tonight.
That's right. Had their error which reached second on the two-base error, but it also has made his glove important in this ball game, turning a double play. A little breaking ball, stayed up in the zone, puts it down in the corner, and what, his 8th extra base hit out of 12 hits.
Now it's Colton Wong, grounded out to second. Grounds to second again. Peralta advances. And with 2 down, it brings in Shelby Miller. The Pirates bullpen, if you look back to last year, it was one of the things that really jumped off the page when you talk about positives for Clint Hurdle. And this season, they've already had 6 blown leads. That's most in the National League. And we find out today, Al, that Jason Grilli has just been put on the DL.
Left oblique strain, so he'd been struggling a little bit out of the bullpen. Opponents are hitting just about 300 against the Pirate bullpen. That last year was nearly perfect.
They had a total of 15 blown saves last year and already was 6 here in the first month of the season. Big gap in left center for Shelby Miller. And a fastball, then a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and a runner at third. Reminder that we'll have David Eckstein with us next inning. Always enjoyed David, didn't you, Al?
Yes, just a real professional. You love somebody that exceeds everyone's expectations. He didn't let anybody say, no, you're too small, stop him. He'll be small in stature, but big in heart.
Three and 1 as Cole steps away to kind of gather himself. Three and 2.
The 3-2, and it's a walk to Shelby Miller. The second walk issued by Garrett Cole. Was it a strike or was it a ball? Let's take a look. Fox Tracks, brought to you by Chevy, says it's a strike. Martin had to reach for it, and I'm sure that was part of the equation.
Exactly right. That ball was designed to be in the inner part of the plate, and when Russell Martin had to reach across, still in the strike zone, but an umpire sees that movement, and because you miss the target, you get penalized. Russell's having a little say with the home plate umpire about that pitch.
Inside to Carpenter. Bunted his way on back in the first inning. Scored. RBI by Holiday to account for the only run tonight. Then on a 3-2 pitch, Carpenter grounded out to Ike Davis. 1-0 pitch, and Carpenter hits it sharply, and what a play here by Ike Davis. The concentration with the runner in front of him. Hit sharply. And the nice hands. 2006 World Championship year. And David Eckstein, the MVP of that Fall Classic. He's in town tonight. He'll be with us.
Cardinals, of course, just across the street at Busch Stadium. I'm Pat Paris with Rick Horton. Ricky, glad to see the Cardinals back home.
Nice to be home. Matt Holliday has contributed here tonight. He has 2 hits in this game, including an RBI, but Johnny Peralta has saved 2 runs with his glove.
Absolutely right. So we're going to get back over to Dan and Al. Now we'll see after the game.
All right, guys, thank you. It's Travis Snyder, Clint Barmas, and Garrett Cole as the Cardinals lead it 1-0 here in the 5th. Heck of a career, you know it was. 2-time All-Star, MVP of the 06 World Series, and 3 years with the Cardinals. David Eckstein hit .297. Boy, it's great to have you back.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Dan.
You're one of the nicest guys that we've had in uniform ever here in St. Louis, and there's one pitch, should be one out. Colt Wong makes the play. I know that it was a quick love affair between the fans and you and vice versa. You loved it here.
Oh, I extremely loved it here. The fans were amazing. Coming in from the first time, coming from Anaheim, walking in, and especially with having Egger have been there for the previous years, to step right in and the way the fans embraced me and my whole entire family is something I will never forget.
What comes to mind when you think about 06?
06, World Championship. Having Adam Wainwright struck out Brandon Edge, I think that's the memory ingrained in my brain.
I was thinking that 2004 and this great run that the Cardinals have had, this is Clint Barmas at the plate, talent-wise was probably the best team. But then you look at the teams that you were a part of, and 06, people forget, if not for Scott Spezio against Milwaukee, that final regular season weekend and his triple off Cordero, you guys may not have made it into the postseason, and then you caught fire. So the question would be, what happened in that postseason that got you guys to come together and make that run?
I think the biggest thing first was that we got healthy. We were having some nagging injuries going down the stretch. Everyone got healthy. With Ronnie Belliard's play in the 6th inning, the bases loaded, making that play. Jim Edmonds giving the ball after the game. Everyone coming together, and it was just a magical run from then on out.
I introduced you as MVP, and there's a look at Chris Carpenter, who still makes everybody nervous.
Yes.
Did you like playing behind him? Was he fun, or did he make you nervous?
Didn't make me nervous, but the intensity was what I enjoyed. You know, you did not want to make a mistake behind him, but he actually had your back. So even though you got that glare or something like that, but you knew that he had total faith in you, and you just wanted to return that for him.
Next by Miller is popped foul. Everywhere you go, and I know you do a lot of speaking engagements, you work with kids in baseball. You're always involved with various charities. We'll get to one in just a moment that you'll be a part of tomorrow. But people introduce you as MVP of the 2006 World Series, and that'll stay with you the rest of your life. How did that change your life, if at all, after it happened and it all sunk in?
Yeah, you don't really realize it when you're playing, but once you stop playing and you go to any of these events, like you said, the first thing they say is 2006 World Series MVP, and then it really kind of sinks in, because I know I told you this on the show the other day. You know, I was very fortunate to have that honor, but it could have went to many guys, and especially Yadier Molina, who had an outstanding, offensive. But what he did behind the plate with the pitchers and everything like that, that was my pick.
You know, Molina, I went back and looked at his numbers. He hit below 220 that regular season. Yes. And then in the postseason, he had the most hits of anybody. Mm-hmm. His on-base percentage was around 400. And I asked David Eckstein, I guess it was, 2 or 3 days ago when we were lining this all up. I said, what's the moment that you think about from 2006? And you, being David Eckstein, didn't look at yourself. You said, well, holding up the trophy was pretty cool in the final out. But you said Molina's home run in New York is what really stood out.
It stood out because that was like the defining moment for us. Going back to New York, we had lost Game 6. Billy Wagner on the mound, tie game, and he steps up to the plate and does that and gives us that boost to push us into the World Series. And like you said, maybe he had not hit as well as he was like during the regular season, but that postseason he came alive and he became the guy that we have seen now for how many years?
It's unbelievable.
8 years now?
This is his 10th full season.
Gosh.
10th full season for Molina as he sets up outside. This is Garrett Cole, and there's strike one. You still follow the Cardinals? Are you still following Major League Baseball?
Oh, definitely. I follow Major League Baseball with my brother with the Angels, but also the Cardinals. I check the box scores every day. Even though I'm not playing, baseball's still my passion. It's my life, so I look at everything.
And how about coaching and helping out kids and doing some of those things?
Yeah, definitely. I help out the local high schools in Florida right now, and then this summer I'll be with the USA 18 and under boys for the Pan Am Games, and so it's what I love to do.
David Eckstein, the hero of 06, is with us. I'm going to ask you this. How tall are you? Truly, how tall are you?
Truly. The exact measurement, when I was measured by the Boston Red Sox when I got drafted, I was 5'6" and 3/4. I went to Anaheim and I measured out at 5'7" and 1/4. So somewhere in between the two. I go 5'7".
5'7". We're going to round up.
Round up.
What were people telling you about being a major league player? Did they tell you, hey, don't even think about it. Look at your height. Look at your size. There's no way.
That's the one thing. I really never listen to what people say. That's probably my stubbornness. But I didn't hear that. My goal was to be able to get out here and play on a major league field and be part of a championship club. And so I was not going to let anything stop me. I know there was a lot of that stuff behind there. We got to remember, back in those days, there was no Twitter, there was no Facebook,
right.
No one could blog.
Right.
So we didn't have to worry about the internet. And so if there was, I don't know if I would ever made it.
And that's probably the message you tell a lot of guys, isn't it? Never give up.
Never give up, because this game is made for everybody. You can have the guy that's 6'7" to the guy that's 5'5". It doesn't matter. If you know how to play the game, there's a spot for you out there on the field.
What was it like playing for Tony?
Tony was awesome. Tony had the ability to get the best out of all his players, put the players in the right situation so they could be successful. His mental aspect of the game, when he showed up at the field, it was all about winning that night, and he did not let up. And I think if you watch the teams that he's managed, there's that dog fight in them. They don't give up until the final out, and I think that comes directly from him.
David Eckstein is our guest, the 06 MVP of the World Series. 1 ball, 1 strike on Jose Tabata with a tying run at second base. You and I were talking the other day, and we've got Shelby Miller, who throws 96, 97. You got Garrett Cole, who throws 100. And it seems like every guy that comes out of the bullpen is throwing 100, and they're 20 years old. It's unbelievable.
It's absolutely amazing. Doing what we were talking about before, every time I turn on the television, I'm looking at these guys. They're all like that, and it's like, where do they come from? And it's just unreal. And you know, especially the Cardinals. The Cardinals have this great farm system, and they seem like every year there's going to be a new name that throws that. But it's fun to watch, you know. But I think that's where the game's going right now. You get a lot of hard-throwing guys.
How about Carlos Martinez?
Carlos Martinez, yes.
Now that guy's filthy.
He's real filthy. I've watched him throw the ball, and I like to compare it to a young Francisco Rodriguez when I saw him with the Angels, when he came up with that electric slider. And so that's what when I saw him come up, especially like last year and stuff, that's what I saw.
I don't know if you've noticed, but you say you follow the game. K-Rod, by the way, 9 for 9.
Can you believe it? He throws a changeup, guys. Come on.
I know. It's unbelievable. Still getting people out.
Yes, he is. He's doing a great job.
3-2 the count on Tabata. In general, what do you think of this Cardinals team?
I like it. I like it a lot. You know, just looking out there, looking at the players they have. You know, Matt Carpenter developed into the player that he is. You know, Colton Wong, you know, I think he has a bright future here. And, you know, you have Yachty behind the plate. Matt Holliday is Matt Holliday. You know, I love the combination of John Jay and Peter Borges. I got to know Peter a little bit over in Anaheim. He's a phenomenal young man, you know, and then you got Alan Craig out and right. You know, it's one of those things. You got a good nucleus here, and then you have the pitching staff that's unbelievable. And like you said, we're talking about all the guys that throw hard. You get to the pen, you give them a lead after 6. You know, it's almost, you know, they got a good chance to win. I'm not going to say too much right now, though.
No, that's all right. You're still into the game. I like it. There's a look at Michael Wacha, who was a postseason sensation last year, all of 22. 4 innings the other night. He strikes out 10. No big deal.
No big. He walked by me today when I was downstairs just because they all coming in. I couldn't believe how tall he was, too. They're all the same thing.
We got David Eckstein for another half inning. We'll visit with him. The Cardinals lead at 1-0 midway through 5. This is one of the best shots we've ever had in doing Cardinals baseball. We're going to take you back to a grand slam. Albert Pujols telling J-Rod, bro, you're not going to need that bat because this guy's at the plate. Tell us about the plate appearance, and this turned out to be a grand slam.
Yeah, coming up to the bat, you know, we were down by, I think we were down by 2 runs. And I was facing Chris Rietzma, who was a former teammate of mine in Sarasota, an A-ball. And he knew I never swung until I got a strike, so he threw ball 1. I was like, this is the time I needed to swing, and fortunate enough, I was able to put good one on it and hit it out.
What a great moment that was.
That was, yes.
Goosebumps still?
Oh yes, definitely. You know, seeing that, I don't really pull up many videos of myself. So yeah, seeing that definitely at the old Busch Stadium too.
Absolutely. Here is John Jay. Moved into this ballpark in 06. You win the World Series. Jay has walked and grounded out. Then it's Holiday and Adams. You saw Albert Pujols in that video, former teammate, just picked up number 500.
Yes, that was a great moment for him. My mom actually got to go to that game and see it. He's getting his legs back, and so he's kind of looking like the old Albert. So hopefully he can continue that for the Angels.
1 ball and 1 strike. I want to put you on the spot here just for a second as Jay is hit by a pitch. I wonder how it's being received in the LA area. You know that fan base well, as opposed to what could have been here in St. Louis.
Wow, that is on the spot right now.
Putting you on the spot.
It is.
Just curious, you know.
Just curious. No one was going to love Albert more than St. Louis. And so whenever you move to a new spot, it will never be like where you were at home. And I think that's something that I don't think he'll capture what he had here. But that's part of this game. It's a crazy game. You end up in places that you might not think about. You know, this was a place that I don't think I wanted to leave, and so you end up in some. You have to make some decisions that you might not want to make.
Absolutely. David Eckstein is our guest. Very well done. You know, you're still in mid-season form of skirting questions. That's good.
What do you want me to say?
No. That was perfect. Runner at first, and here is Holiday. You know, Mike Matheny is a guy that you competed against, and now he's a manager. And even when he was playing, a lot of people, especially when he was in San Francisco, used to talk about this guy will be managing someday. Doesn't surprise you to see him down there, I guess?
Not at all, not at all. Even when I came here, like from all the workers and everyone that I came in contact, it was their favorite guy to ever wear a Cardinal uniform. They're like, Mike Matheny is the nicest guy, the greatest guy. And then you see his mind behind the game. You know, I got to face him when he went over to San Francisco, and just seeing the way he called the game and how he saw the game. And the number one thing was the intensity about the game. And now I do not have any doubts of him, the way he has managed the game and where he's taken this club. It was a great decision by John Mosaic to hire him, and I think he's reaping the benefits now.
How about for you? You want to get into coaching at this level at all?
It would have to be at this level.
No minor leagues?
No minor leagues. It would have to be at this level, and it has to be at the right job with the right people.
Interesting.
Yes.
1 ball, 1 strike on Holiday. Bus rides, no more.
No more. Or I could say what Tony told me, because everyone likes me, LaRusso. Why would you ever want to put on a uniform when you can go up there and be like an assistant GM? So that's what LaRusso told me.
So you're thinking now front office.
That's what Tony wants me to think. I don't know.
What's David Eckstein think?
Gosh, I love the field. I love being around guys. I love being part of a team. You know, and so we'll see. It has to be the right situation at the right time. So I don't know.
We could find an opening here.
We'll have to. No, you guys got great. You got a great.
Well, I'm saying we could find. You know, we'll come up with something.
Something.
Yeah. World Series MVP. You earned that. I mean, come on. You had a great 3-year run here, man.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoyed it here, definitely.
You know, the crazy thing, too, is when you have success in St. Louis, anywhere you go around town, whether or not you're playing or a former player, everybody has a story to come up and talk to you and tell you where they were when a certain moment that you were part of happened. I'm sure a lot of people were at that game that had the Grand Slam. And there's a walk to Holiday, but that's what makes this fan base as special as it is.
It definitely does. I actually have met the person who caught the Grand Slam ball.
Is that right?
I have. Yeah. So,
what's his play?
Squeeze.
Oh, you know it. Right when you saw it, you knew it, the squeeze.
Well, if you show someone on third base and I'm up to bat like that, focus in, it's probably going to be a squeeze, yes.
There's John Mabry right in the middle of it, too.
Yeah.
So the gentleman that catches or fan that caught the home run ball.
That I met, so I've signed the ball. So, yes, this fan base does not forget, and it's been something like you go out around town around here, and it's crazy. they definitely remember, and it's kind of hard to explain to people back in Florida when I'm there. Like when I walk around here and come back, and just anybody that comes back here, the way the city actually embraces you, even in any other cities I played in. Just to tell them about when you come to St. Louis, what you're a part of. I had a conversation with Mark Ellis today, and he's experiencing it now, and it's just an amazing place to play.
Here's Yadier Molina trying to extend his hitting streak to 15 games. And David is also involved with a charity tomorrow. Find out more at celebrityvoices.org. What's that all about?
Yes, tomorrow night over at the Rotunda, there will be an event where it's for American Scores, and we help urban youth basically give them a place to have athletics through soccer, but also find their voice through poetry and academics. So we're having a bunch of young kids write poems, and we're going to go up there and we're going to help them read their poems.
Very cool. Again, you can find out more at celebrityvoices.org. Celebrityvoices.org. Speaking of performers, your wife, Star, what's she up to right now?
She just took the red eye from Tokyo, so she just landed in LA, and she's about to fly to Chicago tonight to do they have a Comic-Con convention in Chicago, so she has to be there tomorrow. So she's been crazy busy with her company called Her Universe and doing voices for cartoons, so she's all over the place right now.
It's great. Molina grounds out to Garrett Cole. You had the ceremonial first pitch. Last time you threw a baseball was when?
Yesterday.
Yesterday, okay. So you're ready to go?
Oh, yes.
Now, here's what I like. You're 5'7". Waino is 6'7".
He has been down.
That's great.
And the baldingness, that is a great shot.
You got enough hair up there, man. You're doing fine.
Doing fine.
You're doing fine. Here's Alan Craig. I always think of Waino in Game 7 of the NLCS.
Yes.
Forever remembered with that curveball to Beltran.
Yes, that was amazing.
I thought it was great in talking with you. You said, and I asked you, I said, how often do you get to the ballpark as a fan, wherever you may be traveling? And you said your love of the game was rejuvenated in Game 6 of 2011.
It was. I had the opportunity. I never really was a fan. So once you start playing, you kind of lose that little sense of being a fan, because it actually becomes a job to go out there and play. So it's your job, it's your business. So you're stepping on the field playing. And so what no one really knew was I already had made my mind up during the middle of 2010 that I was not going to play in 2011. So I actually stayed away. I know my brother was coaching, but I stayed away because I didn't want people thinking I was looking for a job. And so I stayed away from the game. So basically the first game that I really got to go back to was Game 6, when the Cardinals had me out to throw out the first pitch, and I was up there, and I think I saw the most amazing game ever. And to see, with David Freese, the comeback in the 9th, and then hitting the game-winning home run, and then to be actually be the first time part of Cardinal Nation as a fan and feel it from the inside, it was just amazing. You can see me, I got goosebumps all over my body right now.
But that was amazing, and I think it's amazing that you say it rejuvenated your love for the game.
It did. It made me become a fan again, because you lose that when you play, and then all of a sudden, I was a little kid up there jumping up and down and rooting the guys on, and so, it brought the whole love of the game back and the passion. And like you said, if I'm not doing something with my wife, you'll find me at a baseball field somewhere.
That's great. Alan Craig is at the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. Runners at second and third with 2 down, and the Cardinals leading 1-0 in the home half of the 5th on this Friday night here at Busch Stadium. And time is called. How much has the game changed even from when you were playing, which is not that long ago?
It's changed a lot. Luckily, they changed that rule today on the transfer. It's changed a lot, because I was actually in spring training with the Angels when they were going through all these new rules and stuff, like with the home plate, not being able to block home plate, the transfer rule. It's changed. The instant replay rule, it has changed immensely. It's changed the way the game is going to be played, and so it's a little bit different now. And then you add the social media aspect of the game. This game has changed quite a bit, even in the 3 years that I have not played.
Here's a 3-0. Do you like the new rules? Do you think they're good for the game?
See, I'm the type of guy that wants the right call. I'll be out there. If the guy was safe and the umpire came and asked me and he called me out, I would have to go, he's safe. And so I like it when the right call is made. I'm not a big fan of the home plate because there's so many blurred lines. Like the other day,
exactly.
I thought the Mets catcher had his foot in front of the plate that did not allow Carpenter to get it. He had to go around him, which allowed him to put the tag on. I thought when they were going to review it, they would have saw that his foot, because he stepped to catch the ball, but his foot was down in front of the plate prior to him catching the ball. So I thought that was going to be, no, you're not allowed to do that. So there's so many gray areas. I think once they figure it all out and there's no more gray areas, I think it will work so much more smoothly.
I agree with you 100%.
I'm still waiting for this one. The play at man on second with 2 outs, throw to first, the umpire calls him out, but they review it, he's safe, but the man on second continues to run and he scores. I'm waiting for that one because they've been taught to throw the ball home in Anaheim.
Joe Madden has done that too with Tampa Bay.
Yes.
It's a smart play.
Yes. And then the one play I see a lot is the guy stealing second and his front foot hits the base, but he pops up and he doesn't retouch it. And the guy holds the tag, he's out, and I'm waiting for that to be called too.
3-2 pitch. Craig lifts it in the air to right. This may sink, and it does, but just foul. You and I were also talking about just how hard this game is to play. And from up here, it's easy. The fans at home, it's easy. They're in the seats, it's easy. Man, this game is hard. And Alan Craig is off to a slow start. And, you know, any player at this level that's ever played it or in the middle of it can empathize with Craig.
Definitely. I mean, this is one of the toughest games to play, and you never know. You can do the exact same thing, and the results are totally polar opposites of each other. And, you know, I think, you know, his first at-bat tonight was great, though.
Yep.
So, you know, hopefully getting back on track. But that's the one thing about this game, because there's not a constant. You can't sit there and go, okay, if I do this, I'm definitely guaranteed a hit, because you have 7 fielders out there that can make a play. And you got a pitcher out there, you know, trying to get you out and doing stuff. So that's the hardest thing about this game.
These fans know that Craig has been struggling. That could change here on this 3-2 pitch. And Craig rips it out to left center field. McCutchen on the move, and with his speed, a sliding catch to take the hit away. Great to see you again. Awesome. By the way, sit back and be a fan one more time. Here it is, David Eckstein and David Freese.
Unreal. Yep.
What a night it was. Great to see you, David.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Dan.
You got it. David Eckstein, another hero postseason.
Conviction.
And the Cardinals have their own lefty, Tyler Lyons. Was good in his season debut against New York. Always great to catch up with the former Cardinals and one of our favorites, David Eckstein.
No doubt about it. Such a classy young man, and you know, he got the most out of his ability, and as you said, one of our favorites because of, you know, an overachiever.
It's Neil Walker, Andrew McCutchen, and Pedro Alvarez.
Underway here in the 6th inning. Blues have just scored to tie the game at 2-2. 1-0 pitch. And a low strike to Walker. And both teams at different points in time during this game, they've been questioning the strike zone of home plate umpire Will Little.
One of the byproducts of the challenging system is there are 2 brand new umpiring crews. So you're seeing a lot of young umpires being promoted to the major leagues for the first time, or from a vacation standpoint up to the big leagues. See that WB on his sleeve? That's for Wally Bell, who unfortunately passed away right at the end, a couple of weeks after the World Series. Pitch count getting up there for Shelby Miller. He's at 89. And Pat Neshek starts throwing 90 pitches now. And Neshek starting to warm up in the bullpen.
Here's a 2-2. Swung on and missed, and a strikeout for Shelby Miller. It looks like Shelby's kind of settled in here the last couple of innings after, I don't know if it's a rough start, but just couldn't find his mechanics with the strike zone.
Just one walk since the double play to end the 3rd inning. The only base runner for the Pirates. Probably his last inning of work. Make sure it's an efficient one. Cardinals have stranded 8 already in this game.
Hung that breaking ball, lifted out to left, and Holiday can't come up with it. Off his glove, then off the wall, and McCutchen trots into second base with a double.
That Holiday has been making some nice plays in the field. Took a home run away in New York, and there he went to his left into left center and reached up the last time and hit off his glove. There's the hanging breaking ball you mentioned. Watch him reach up the last second. It goes off his glove, but can't hold on to it. That hit him in the heel of the glove, and then he'll pop it out as McCutchen out 5 for 15 off of Shelby.
Here is Pedro Alvarez. You know that Miller will be close here. He has walked him and also struck him out. Really a thorn in his side is Pedro Alvarez. His 3 home runs in his career. Now he is stranded 47 this year. That's the most on the Pirates club. 47 he has left on base.
174 average. Does have 6 home runs, 14 RBIs. A couple of years ago, the Cardinals kept him in the big leagues. So he's off to a horrible start, and yet the success he's had have been against Cardinal pitching. 13 home runs, a lot of RBIs. Most of that was 2 years ago.
.45 RBIs against St. Louis for Alvarez in his career. Former top pick, and now Molina wants to talk to him. 1 ball, 1 strike. Talk to Shelby Miller. And if you go back since 2012, it's 37. So 12 and 13, majority of those in 2012. And he did some damage on a Friday night earlier this season against Shelby Miller.
2 home runs that game. He has 3 hits off of Shelby, all 3 of them home runs. Couple walks, 6 strikeouts.
The pickoff a little late. Peralta was there, but McCutchen back easily.
Daylight play, and Peralta trying to sneak in behind him. Hopefully that just will shorten up his lead at second base. His speed, any base hit to the outfield, would probably be a run scored. So
1-1 pitch. I would say that Al even if you keep him a step or two close to the bag at second, probably wouldn't matter much with McCutchen.
Right. Great speed.
Now the Cardinals do shift with Alvarez, so you keep Peralta near the bag at second base anyway. Colton Wong is on the outfield grass.
So I'll be paying a lot of attention to him, which you have to do, but don't split your concentration to the man at the plate.
Outside with an off-speed pitch, 3-1. Now would you just think about putting him on and then dealing with Russell Martin and hope to get your third double play?
And you just don't make a blatant mistake, and that's what I think Alvarez is. He's a mistake hitter. You make good pitches, you get him out, but if you make a mistake, he can hurt you really quick.
Went after him on the 3-1 pitch and a fly ball out to left. Holiday makes the catch. McCutchen back to second, and a big out for Shelby Miller. Stay hydrated all summer long. It's a beverage jug giveaway courtesy of Powerade. That's May 17th. Cardinals take on the Braves. At 25,000 fans entering with a ticket receive the Cardinals beverage jug. It's May 17th. And that'll be it for Shelby Miller. Neshek is ready to go. They'll face Russell Martin when we come back. Jack's Blazin' Chicken Sandwich. It's Jack's hottest sandwich yet. Out near the Ford Plaza, that's where David Eckstein was signing autographs tonight. They do that every Friday home game, the Budweiser Bash. We've got some Hall of Famers lined up this season as well. Our Chevy call to the pen takes us to right-hander Pat Neshek. This will be his 12th appearance. He and Segrist have been used the most out of the pen by Mike Matheny.
Starting to get meaningful games, and this is a crucial point. One thing I could say, Shelby Miller was approaching 100 pitches. He was close, but not quite. Russell Martin over 2 against Shelby. He was 4 for 9 coming in against Shelby, and with the way that Pirates have handled Shelby Miller, I think Mike Matheny just wanted to make sure it was a positive outing. And if Neshek does his job in the bullpen, Shelby can get his first win.
I've been impressed with Pat Neshek, and Martin to be a little shook up in his previous at bat coming out of the batter's box. Does not look comfortable here in this plate appearance. But Neshek is throwing harder than we thought, and we know he's got a very good slider.
Well, the big thing is just the way he throws. You know, it looks like it's coming underneath Laredo, and then he jerks the ball. And not a good slider there, but maybe it'll set up for one good one down and away. Veteran pitcher, came as a non-roster player, made the team out of spring training. You got so many hard throwers out of that bullpen, guys that throw over the top, and then you get switch off of this submarine delivery.
He has mixed in a changeup. He's throwing consistently at 91, occasionally 92, which is way harder than he was throwing last season.
Oh, by his own admission, he got slider happy, and then you reach back to the fastball, it's gone.
There's that slider. Martin couldn't hold up, and he seems like he's playing hurt right now, doesn't he?
He's got an ankle that he injured the other day. He missed a couple games, but he wanted back in the lineup, and you see how your balance is so important as a hitter. And when you shift your body weight and you get over the top of that bad ankle, you know, it'll catch you. You know, you feel like you lose your balance.
Ground ball hit to third. Carpenter with it. And Shelby Miller has a chance to win this game tonight. The Cardinals hold on, his first ever win against Pittsburgh. Long way to go. Live on Fox Sports Go. Along with the Mad Hungarian, Al Raboski, Dan McLaughlin, Jim Hayes with you. Shelby Miller gave up 3 hits tonight, walked 4, struck out 4. And Russell Martin, final at bat, the ground out, dealing with leg issues, the ankle. And you can see he's just not right. So new catcher is in. And it's Chris Stewart as Peralta takes a pitch down and in. Garrett Cole still in this ball game in the bottom of the 6th, and the Cardinals lead it by the score of 1-0. Peralta a double back in the 4th, and also was robbed first time up by Pedro Alvarez. Did commit a throwing error but took a hit away. Cardinals have Segrist up and throwing. We'll see a pinch hitter in this inning as well. One and two the count. Peralta, Wong, and then a pinch hitter. And a swing and a miss and a strikeout. That's how we start the inning for the Cardinals. Strikeout number 2 for Garrett Cole. AT fan photo. There it is. Al, you can rest well tonight knowing that you've seen the AT&T fan photo. Here's Colt Wong, who is 0 for 2. And this is the 3rd time he has grounded out to the second baseman, Neil Walker. Quickly 2 outs, and it brings in the pinch hitter, Shane Robinson. So Pat Neshek goes a 1/3 of an inning and gets his man.
Segrist throwing in the bullpen for the Cardinals.
I like that look, a live look at lefty throwing in the pen.
Everything goes right. He'll have the 7th, Martinez the 8th, and Rosenthal the 9th.
That's under the watchful eye of Blaze Ilsley. We don't get a chance to talk much about the bullpen coach of the Cardinals. Quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Bullpen coach, Al, what's the main responsibility?
I think it's a great idea today to have a secondary pitching coach down there to not only work with the relievers. You know, you'll have a catcher down there, but to have another pitching coach. And you know, there are times if you're a reliever, you know, you never worked with the pitching coach. He was always working with the starters, and you're throwing every day. You never had that opportunity to kind of do it under the watchful eye. You know, Derek Lilliquist between starts will have the guys go down and throw the starters, but relievers are working every day. They don't have that luxury.
Strikeout of Robinson. Garrett Cole strikes out 2. We head to the 7th. 1-0 St. Louis. You'll receive great gifts like a Matt Carpenter bobblehead, a Cardinals-themed lunch bag, tickets to a game. This is only $30, so parents, make this happen. Give it away as a gift. Sign up now at cardinals.com/kidsclub. Chevy Cole to the pin, and it's the lefty Kevin Segrist, who was really roughed up. And I say roughed up, but there was actually base hits allowed, which is something we don't see very much his last time out.
There was 3 consecutive base hits, and that's just almost unheard of. And he came to the big leagues last year, had a 0.46 ERA. This year, this is his team high 13th appearance, 6 holds. That's tied for second in the National League. and he has a 0.39 ERA in 27 career games at Busch Stadium. And he got to the scene, and Martinez and Rosenthal took over right before we went into postseason play. The Cardinal bullpen was lights out. Both these teams had very, very effective bullpens.
Here is Ike Davis. Outside of the obvious, Al, which is a lefty that throws 96, what is it about Siegrist that has made him so dominant?
Well, it's the fact that you see how he hides the ball very well. He short arms it, and then he has a good overpowering fastball. He was a converted starter from the minor leagues. He's got, good body for a pitcher. He can get that ball in there, but he hides the ball so well. And he's pretty good at splitting, hitting his spots away, and with a very effective breaking ball. But watch now how he turns, and you don't see the arm fly out open to where he really kind of short arms the ball. He hides it well from the hitter. He doesn't pick it up until the pitch is on top of him.
And that's a strike on Davis, 2-2.
A little help right there.
Yeah, very good point, Al, how he hides the baseball.
And what a hitter will tell you is they're looking for that release point. Well, you don't see it until he's already released it. Well, then your eye just doesn't register, and then you only have a split second. So his 96 looks like it's about 106.
2-2 pitch. Davis just got a piece.
Think about the Pirates, and they have two power left-handers in their bullpen, Watson and Wilson.
Those guys are filthy.
Yeah, so you're seeing, and there is Wilson, who actually throws a little harder than Siegrist does. Justin Wilson.
Mentioned the other day how Siegrist in this delivery reminds me a little bit of Joe McGrain, how he rocks back and then explodes forward.
Joe would tell you that he threw harder than Siegrist, but we know better.
I just shot you a look. Wait a minute here.
I said he would tell you.
The 2-2 off-speed pitch lifted out to center. John Jay is there. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the St. Louis Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Matt Evgarian, Al Raboski, Jim Hayes is with us. My name is Dan McLaughlin, and the Cardinals clinging right now to a one-run lead as we play here in the top of the seventh. This will be Josh Harrison, and he's pinch hitting for Travis Snider.
He's had some big hits against the Cardinals.
And one of those was his hit on Yadier Molina. Remember that collision?
Right.
Josh Harrison can really run, and if you look at him, he is put together. He looks like a running back. And Molina took the brunt of that collision. That was a scary play.
Dan, in some ways, that was a defining moment for Yadier Molina. He proved to everybody how tough he was going to be as he held on to that after just getting rocked and held on to that ball at home plate. And that was Yadi's first year when he was a defensive wizard. Now he's a complete player.
Here's a ground ball hit to short, backhanded by Peralta. Gets Harrison by a step. Still a long ways to go in this ball game, but most wins in one-run games, and the Pirates have 7-5. Rangers are the best in baseball at 7-2, and the Giants are 6-6.
I think the Pirates would tell you that that has actually been one of the weaker parts this year, because last year they were so good in one-run games that they expected to win all of them.
And this pitch is popped up by Clint Barmas. Matt Adams is there. The smooth delivery of Kevin Siegrist. Then to the plate, mid-90s fastball, the good slider, and a 1-2-3 inning on this Friday night from Busch Stadium. In fan rewards on every purchase. That includes Cardinals tickets. Plus, with all-in pricing, there are no surprise fees at checkout. StubHub, your ticket to upgrades and more. Nothing like being at the ballpark on a nice night. Good ball game here. Cardinals lead it 1-0. Well pitched on both sides. Garrett Cole still in this game. The starter for the Pirates.
6 innings in a very entertaining game, but it's 2 hours and almost 2.5 hours for a 1-0 ball game.
Garrett Cole is due up first in the 8th as Carpenter lines it into right center. And there's that speed of McCutchen that has been a difference maker here tonight. Have the play against Alan Craig. That could have been a leadoff double against a lesser center fielder.
McCutchen won the Gold Glove in 2012 and just has great closing speed. Hit those gaps, and with his great speed, he'll close on just about anything and haul it in.
John Jay has grounded out to first. Walked into third. Was hit by a pitch in the 5th. Here's an 0-1. This is out to left center. The speed of McCutchen again. No problem. Puts that away. I think we take for granted just how good he is defensively and the difference that he makes. So McCutchen with 2 very good plays. Now he was shading Jay opposite way, but still those are balls that some center fielders just don't get to.
Oh, you put Marte in left field and you put McCutchen in center. Think about in the future, they're going to have a young man, Polanco, and they're saying all 3 of them could be center fielders at the big league level. They're going to close on a lot of gappers.
And just like that, it's 2 outs and no balls and a strike on Holiday, who doesn't like that call. They are headed to overtime. What a shock, the Blues and Hawks in Game 5. Russell Martin left this game with tightness in his left hamstring. 0-2 on Holiday. Was a lone RBI tonight. That was back in the 1st on a double down the right field line. Here's an 0-2. And a base hit to left. Hung a breaking ball, and Holiday went down to get it.
Holiday 5 for 6 off a cold.
Look at our Mazda game summary. 1-5-0 for St. Louis, 0-3-1 for the Pirates. Garrett Cole still in the game, 1 out away from 7 innings. McCutchen is 1 for 3. Shelby Miller has a chance to win this game. And as I mentioned moments ago, Matt Holliday with the RBI double, and that was in the 1st. So here's Matt Adams.
No surprise, Carlos Martinez warming up for the Cardinals.
A shift on here for Adams. Hall of Famer Al McInnes jersey. Pretty good seat, too.
Nothing but the best for a Hall of Famer.
0-2 the count. The second 3-hit game of the season for Holiday. He stands at first. He's starting to heat it up, too. It's the second time that he's done this last 4 starts. Adams with a base hit to center. He's looking for his 11th multi-hit game. Instead, he strikes out. That's 4 strikeouts for Garrett Cole. We head to the 8th. Martinez coming on. Bommarito Sports Update, Pat Paris. That would now be 12 home runs in the last 7 games for the Brewers. Wow.
And the Cardinals have 12 home runs on the year. Carlos Martinez will take over here in the 8th inning. He's retired 10 for 10 first batter's face. That is so important for a reliever, especially when you're coming in with runners on base. And he's stranded all 8 inherited runners this year. But here he starts the 8th inning against the pinch hitter Marte.
Marte with good speed. He's got some power, but a lot of strikeouts. Average at 245, 1 home run, 3 RBIs. So Garrett Cole is out of this game. It'll be Marte and then the top of the lineup. And left on the bench, Jordy Mercer and Gabby Sanchez for the Pirates. That's it, those two in a 1-0 game.
I will see if tomorrow how banged up is Russell Martin, and will they have to make a corresponding disablement, to get another catcher up here.
And they've already had to disable Jason Grilli.
Jason Grilli went on the disabled list today with left oblique muscle strain.
Crowd of 43,193 here tonight. That missed in at 97 for Martinez. Garrett Cole, very good outing for him. The 7 innings, 102 pitches, struck out 4, gave up 1 run. It was earned. And a right-hander getting loose for the Pirates. And Marte is hit by the pitch. Tying run is aboard, and that's very good speed in Marte. And things just got interesting here in the 8th.
The Cardinals already have stranded 9 in this ball game. They scored their lone run back in the 1st inning. They've had opportunities all night but can't cash in. And that leadoff man getting on base, hit batsman, that is a real problem as we move for the latter stage of this game. Cardinals already turned 2 double plays. A 3rd one would look pretty nice.
Jose Tabata. A single to left back in the third. Marte certainly a threat to steal.
Not easy to bunt somebody that's throwing that hard, and especially if you have that bad technique that Tabata just displayed. Tabata's batting only .179 against right-handed pitching this year.
And that is a foul ball.
Say fair ball.
So it's a fair ball and should be a dead ball.
Well, that's what we thought, but the umpire must be an.
And it hit him in the batter's box, which then would make that a dead ball, and everybody in the ballpark can see that.
But watch the umpire, if we stay with the video long enough, hits him there. The umpire comes out and points to first. I'm saying it's a strike.
Regardless, 0-2 the count. Short lead at first and a check on Marte.
Martinez has that electric fastball, and he also has a wicked off-speed pitch. Breaking ball sometimes is nasty, but inconsistent.
He was knocked around last weekend in Washington, but more times than not, sensational stuff. 1-2.
For the pitch out there, hoping that Marte was running.
Not running, and it's hit into the gap in right center, and it gets down. Marte on his way to third. Runners at the corners, and nobody out. So Tabata couldn't get the bunt down, and the Pirates are thankful that he couldn't. And it brings in Neil Walker. Good play by Craig to cut this off.
Alan Craig's a much better outfielder than most people think. That ball, she said, he cut that ball off. And with a great Pirate speed, Marte is going to get over to third with nobody out here. Runners at the corners. One thing about Martinez, Dan, it almost seems like you know pretty quickly whether he's going to have a good day. And if it's a good day, you know, he gets everybody out. If it's a bad day, even though he has good speed, good velocity, he gets hit hard.
Walker has struck out. That was back in the sixth. Walked in the third and also grounded out. Again, it's worth repeating, average near 370 his last 5 games. So swinging one of the hotter bats in this lineup. Back to Martinez, looks back Marte, and now they've got him in a rundown. Did they get him? They did.
Yeah.
Attacked by Peralta.
Very good play by Peralta. Martinez could have cut off Marte and avoided that many, but the Cardinals were efficient enough that they got the lead runner and they kept the second runner from going over to third base. Heads up play by Peralta, and what a nifty throw from, instead of running at the runner, he throws it to third. You should have chased him back to third base. Now watch this. Peralta comes in here and a little flip from Molina, and Peralta puts the tag on. He's trying to stay in the rundown long enough to get Tabata over to third base, but he's stuck at second, and the Cardinals get the first out.
Now Molina calling everybody in on the infield. The extension of your coaching staff. Look at this. Molina is running this meeting right here.
You don't need. Some ways Tony La Russa did that when Mike Matheny was catcher. He was an extension of the pitching staff. Now all of a sudden, there's nobody that has more respect for Yadier Molina than Mike Matheny. And he is an additional coach out there.
Really quarterbacking the defense, setting up what they want to do here. And so now you have Andrew McCutchen who doubled back in the 6th. He saved a couple of runs with a sliding catch of what was a potential double by Alan Craig midway through this game. It's a 1-run lead for St. Louis. A fun matchup here with the reigning MVP and a budding superstar on the mound.
A lot of times, it's my experience, when you get in a little trouble of your own making, like Martinez, he hits a batter, gives up a, he's ahead of the hitter and makes a careless pitch. He gives up the base hit. Then all of a sudden you get that one out, and all of a sudden your adrenaline is flowing and your stuff improves.
And how about that? Ball gets away from Molina. 2 balls and no strikes on McCutchen.
Ball bounces here, and Yachty tries to pick it. It's way outside. Does a good job just to stop it. It's a wild pitch all the way, but
you could be asking for trouble if you walk McCutchen to bring in Alvarez, but then you set up the force play at any bag. And the other aspect of this move is the strikeout. You've got a guy in Alvarez that has the potential to hit it out of the ballpark, also has the potential to strike out.
I still would make this move. Alvarez, very dangerous hitter, especially against Cardinal pitching. But if you don't make a mistake, if you make your pitches, execute those pitches, you got a good chance of striking him out.
He has struck out the second most times coming into play on this roster, 22 times to Marte's 35.
And Alvarez has been a Cardinal killer. 13 home runs, almost a RBI per game play here, particularly here at Busch Stadium. You make your pitch, you can get him out. If you make a mistake, he's a cripples hitter. If you fall behind the count, you get the count in his favor. Do that a couple grand slams, high average with the bases loaded.
Mike Matheny had nobody getting loose in the pen. So if you're thinking about the matchup potentially with Randy Choate, Alvarez, by the way, was 2 for 7 against Choate. And he gets Martinez here. That pitch is taken low at 100 miles an hour.
That's it. He can throw it up there, but Alvarez can catch up to, I would say he's more of a slider bat speed, but he's smart enough to know that started a little quicker against a guy like Martinez.
In the air, that'll find the seats out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alvarez is 0 for 1 against the Cardinals right-hander.
99 with that second delivery. Seth Maness throwing in the Cardinal pin.
And that's strike 2. And again, he hits 100 on the gun.
Martinez listed at 6 foot, 185, and that's probably generous by about 15 pounds wringing wet.
See if this crowd comes alive. 43,000 plus. The 1-2. Breaking ball, and he got him. Just throws him. And a strikeout of Alvarez.
He said that breaking ball can be devastating. You cannot look for a breaking ball and adjust to his 100-mile-an-hour fastball. So you got to look for the fastball. Not much breaking there, but it was just the differential in speed. It fooled him, being an off-speed pitch.
And instead of Russell Martin in this spot, it's now Chris Stewart. Martin left with a hamstring injury. Fastball, that's strike 1. And Carlos Martinez is 2 strikes away from getting out of this jam.
Chris Stewart, he had knee surgery back in March. He's hit safely in all 3 games he's played as a member of the Pirates.
Molina kept it in front. 1 ball and 1 strike. Real key playing in this game, the former shortstop Carlos Martinez, and a comebacker. Nice play by Yachty. And Marte hung up between home and third. And now it's a 1-1 pitch to Stewart. Ground ball and foul. Let's see if this crowd makes some noise here. And he went, a strikeout for Martinez.
Where Yadier Molina ranks, 354 average, 9 extra base hits, and 11 RBIs. Did a nice job of coaxing those last 2 strikeouts from Martinez. Remember, he had a couple blocks. He kept that ball in front of him, not allowing the ball to get by him. Carlos, not easy to catch. There's a breaking ball off the plate, and the base is loaded. One of the nice things as a pitcher is to know that you can throw a breaking ball with a runner at third, even bounce it up there, and know that the best catcher in baseball, 6 consecutive Gold Gloves, Yadier Molina, will block it.
Molina is hitless tonight.
Brian Morris is the new Pirate hurdler. 9th appearance, ERA 180.
And it's part of our Chevrolet call to the pen. That's tapped foul. Molina trying to extend his hitting streak to 15 games. By the way, Walker Cooper had 20 games as a Cardinal catcher. That was his hit streak, which was set back in the 1940s. That's the all-time record for a Cardinal catcher. 1-2.
Cardinals have had opportunities all night long. One time, Garrett Cole retired the Cardinals in order. That was the Cardinals' 6th inning. Cardinals have already stranded 9 in this ball game.
The 1-2. Last time we saw Pittsburgh, 3-game series into Steel City. They scored a season high for a series for them, 12 runs, and tonight they have been held to 4 hits and no runs.
And Dan, that was a matchup of these 2 starters, Cole and Miller.
And Yadi's still alive.
Cardinals have already been involved in 4 shutouts this year. 3 of the 4 were started by Adam Wainwright, the other by Lance Lynn.
The 1-2 pitch to Yadier Molina. 2-2. Lions and Liriano tomorrow night. And then it's Wainwright and Volquez. That'll be on Sunday. Start time tomorrow is 3:08 with the first pitch, so we'll come your way at 2:30. Two and two the count. Molina, Craig, and Peralta for St. Louis. Some insurance would be nice. Up and in, full count.
Well over 300 at bats since the last time the Cardinals have hit a home run.
And the hit streak is continued for Molina. 15 games.
Yadi has made himself such a good hitter. First came up, he was recognized as strictly a defensive catcher and one of the best. But now he's become a pretty good hitter. 300 plus the last 3 years. Pitch up and in, and he throws one down the middle of the plate, and he makes him pay with the single to left.
Here's Alan Craig. Was robbed of an extra base hit, 2 RBIs back in the 5th, and a sliding catch by McCutcheon. And that's strike 1. Also had a comebacker. Good play by Garrett Cole. The key point in this game was the bottom of the 8th. Or rather, excuse me, the top of the 8th, with Carlos Martinez getting out of that jam. 0-1 pitch to Alan Craig. Here it comes. Ground ball and a double play. Out at second. Double play. 5-4-3. The Cardinals Kids Show airs tomorrow on Fox Sports Midwest. Join Andy Bennis, U-Man, and of course Fred Bird. Cardinals Kids tomorrow at 10:30. Every Saturday on Fox Sports Midwest.
Peralta broke his 0 for 22 streak with a double back in the 4th inning. He's also 2 for 3 off of Brian Morris. Got the shift on him.
And Peralta hits it down the right field line, but out of play.
Expect him to pull the ball in the infield, and a little bit the same in the outfield.
The St. Louis Blues have just lost in OT. 2 outs, nobody on. 0-1 pitch to Peralta is taken down and in. So those of you that were watching St. Louis Blues hockey, welcome to Cardinals baseball. 1 ball, 1 strike on Johnny Peralta. The Cardinals lead it 1-0. That run was scored back in the 1st, and a double by Matt Holliday to bring in Matt Carpenter. And that's the lone run tonight. You mind if I just hit you, Al? I mean, I just slug you.
Blues,
the Blues have got me fired up.
Well, if that's the reason, go ahead.
There's plenty others I can come up with. But right now, that's the one I'm thinking of. Blues. Here's a 3-2 pitch, and driven out to left field, drops in for a hit.
Marte stayed in the game, playing left field where he normally starts, and second hit for Johnny Peralta.
Could have 3 tonight.
Yep. Hit the ball hard 3 times, and it's just a matter of time before he starts taking off.
Now, this early in a season, you can have what Matt Holliday has done here, which is the last 4 games. You have a couple of nights where you pick up 3 hits, and all of a sudden you look up and you're hitting 270 like Holliday is now. So early, you can have those good games, and your year looks a lot different. There's Colton Wong, and he is grounded out to the second baseman 3 separate times.
Except if it's early in the year and you're a reliever and you have a really bad inning, you can spend the next 3 or 4 months trying to get your ERA respectable.
One-zero pitch to Colton Wong. One and one. Rosenthal is loose and ready in the Cardinals' pen.
The inning is extended beyond Colton Wong. Scalzo would pinch hit, but it's going to be Trevor Rosenthal's 9th inning either way.
The Pirates have Ike Davis, Josh Harrison, and Clint Barmas due up. 1-1 pitch to Colton Wong. So a disappointing night down the street.
That one hurts, but they're going to have to win it in Chicago now. Have to win in Chicago to send it back.
One-two pitch.
Down at Colton inside, trying to jam him. Career 300 hitter in the minor leagues. He really doesn't have much pop, so they don't mind pitching him inside.
And it's hit to short. And we head to the ninth. The Blues lose tonight, but hopefully the Cardinals have a victory. Rosenthal coming on when we come back.
Call to the pin, one of a few changes here for the Cardinals. Takes us to the closer, Trevor Rosenthal. He is 6 for 6 save opportunities. Cardinals with some defensive changes as well. Peter Borges is in the game to take over in center field. John Jay moves from center to right. Ike Davis will be the batter as we're underway here in the top of the ninth. But for Rosenthal, a lot has been made of velocity. Also, he hasn't had those quick 1, 2, 3 innings, but you look up, most importantly, 6 for 6 in save opportunities.
6 for 6, and opponents are only batting 189 against him, but a 6-point+ ERA. Too many walks.
That pitch at 96, back-to-back throws that Rosenthal has gotten in the mid-90s. Ike Davis has walked, popped out, and flied out to center.
He's got a lot of toys to play with. A future starter for the Cardinals, but has 4 pitches.
Here's a 1-2, and he got him that time with the changeup. Davis on a knee. Reminder that baseball tonight is brought to you by Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Grab some buds. And by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. Here's Josh Harrison. He faced Kevin Segrist back in the 7th inning. Grounded out to short. On the bench for Clint Hurdle left is Jordy Mercer and Gabby Sanchez.
Sanchez
at the knees.
Sanchez at the on-deck circle. And there's a good pitch down and away right on the foul. The strike zone. 97, so starting to heat it up. Not uncommon for a power pitcher like Rosenthal to be a little slow early in the, or have a little diminished velocity early in the year. Warmer weather tends to elevate that the radar gun.
The 0-2 elevated that pitch at 96. We've had a case of 3 different relievers tonight. Segrist, Martinez, now Rosenthal. Not far-fetched that they could be in your rotation at some point. But right now, working out of the pen. Jason Mott, all reports have been good with him. His velocity is starting to increase into that low to mid-90s. 1-2 pitch. Popped up to the right side, giving Chase Adams out of play.
There's a backswing here. Wacciati. Went down on a knee, but no backswing, no nothing. Walking slowly, almost a little slow, like his knee is bothering him. That's something we touched on. It's not a bad idea that Tony Cruz is catching 3 times. He caught Lance Lynn on the road trip. You give Gotti a little bit of a breather.
Good to see how he hopped on that last pitch behind home plate. You just have to wonder how much he goes through on a nightly basis that we never hear about. When you think about Yadier Molina, the foul balls off the mask and the chest, and the scrapes, the nicks, and a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, the back of your mitt. Back-to-back Ks for Trevor Rosenthal. It got dicey there for the Cardinals in the 8th inning. Carlos Martinez, our Budweiser player of the game, 24 pitches, but got out of a jam after the first 2 had reached. Rosenthal would love to strike out the side to end this game. Here's Gabby Sanchez, a good pinch hitter that possesses power. Strike 1 at 97.
He's trying to connect on that pitch and allow the velocity to supply that power. But
Gabby Sanchez, a top pinch hitter in the big leagues today. He's been splitting time at first base. The 0-1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Cardinals
must be careful with Gabby Sanchez.
Yeah, Cardinals starting staff leads the major leagues with the best 147 strikeouts.
Look at that. 98 on the gun.
The Cardinal pitchers have fanned 8 in this game. If they get another one, it'd be 9, and that would be 11 times in the first 24 contests. Cardinal pitchers have struck out 9 or more. I'm rooting for the strikeout.
The 1-2. Sanchez got a piece. That pitch again at 97. And right now, Rosenthal, as sharp as we have seen him so far this year.
Careful pitching inside when this late in the game when a home run would tie it or beat you.
Here's a 1-2. You always hear the term professional at bat. That's the term that's used to describe Gabby Sanchez. Comes off the bench, can hit for power, but will make a reliever work, especially late in games.
Mentioned that Rosenthal's got in trouble with a lot of walks, but not tonight. 17 pitches, 14 of them strikes.
It's another 1-2. And he got him a called third strike. He strikes out the side on a Friday night here at Busch, and the Cardinals hold on 1-0 against Pittsburgh.
Nice going, Shelby Miller. He finally breaks the jinx. He's defeated the Pirates for the first time in his career. Now 1-5. But the Cardinals involved in another shutout. Not much run scoring, but the pitching staff was equal to the task. They pitched their 5th shutout of the year, and they win 1-0.
Went with the fastball on a couple of back-to-back 1-2 pitches. Then Sanchez got the curve. Missouri lottery postgame next.